Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I know there's only two of you, but it's still lovely to look out there and see your beautiful faces. We had a capital plan meeting, public forum kind of, at 6 o'clock. And they went over their, the capital plan as stated in the law. And so that, but additions to the agenda, I have a couple that I've come up with this weekend. I was talking with somebody, and because VY has been sold and TransCanada's been sold, that maybe there might be a need to bring back the tax committee. So I'd like to put the appointing of the capital plan, tax committee on the agenda for, I would say, old business. And also we need to close the cemeteries. And that could be under old business as well, because it's something we do all the time, open and shut, open and shut. So, close the cemeteries. And then, I have received, a letter from the Vermont Superior Court, and, a suit that's pending, and, we need to add it, so, and that would definitely be a, executive session, so that could be way down too. And that could be under old business. And like I said, that's gonna have to go into executive session as it's, could be detrimental. Detrimental to the town. I can't get it out.
Did you need a motion for that, Madam?
I need a motion to add all three.
Okay, I move that we add to the old business section of the agenda, number one, the reappointment of the tax committee, number two, closure of the cemeteries, and number three, executive session for whatever we're gonna do during executive session.
A lawsuit, that's a pending lawsuit.
Okay, pending lawsuit.
Second.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion on them? Motion's been made and seconded to add tax committee, closure of the cemeteries, and pending lawsuit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, the ayes have it. Thank you. All right, so chair's remarks, if you can believe it, I have nothing to say, absolutely nothing. Don't ask me anything crappy. All right, guests, any guests? Nothing there. And open public comments, any open public comments? And that's anything that's not on the agenda. All right, nothing, moving on. Approval of minutes, December 5th and the 19th.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I move we accept the minutes of December 5th as corrected at last meeting. We corrected them, but we didn't.
You don't have a
the
copy
motion.
of them, it's just the motion wasn't really made, so it needs to just be official.
Second.
all right, motion for, any discussion on that one? Because we forgot to put that in our motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any, those opposed? Hearing none, all ayes. All right, December 19th.
Madam Chair.
Okay, do you have questions? I have questions. Do you
Oh,
have
I
questions?
don't, go ahead.
Okay, on page 3,
There's Christian's name again.
yeah, Christian's name again.
Will you stop?
And,
Call me Chris.
I had to correct his name in the whole thing.
but on Steve's motion was to accept the, to approve the bills and warrants for Monday, December 19th, not 5th.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
sure.
that's all right, yep.
And then, on page 4, Todd Capen was also in the executive session later, was probably.
Oh, that's right, you have to put that in there.
And then on page 5, I believe that should be.
You can just
Solid
add it
Waste
right in the
Management
middle,
District.
at such and such a time,
WSWMD.
what's his name was added in. Say that again, Sandy?
On page 5, it should be Wyndham, WSWMD, Wyndham Solid Waste Management District, under solid waste issues.
Oh, yep. All right, need a motion to accept these as corrected?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. You have, all right, bills and warrants.
Can I just ask a question?
You sure can. We're moving right along.
Before we move away from those minutes,
Yep.
we, I think, may need to send a letter or some sort of statement to the Wyndham Regional Commission about Tim Arsenal's appointment,
Oh, yep.
just to make that official.
Did we do that?
Can we
I
just
don't know
send a
what we
copy of the
He was
minutes?
already appointed.
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was,
The second?
yeah, we were just,
Well,
Oh, I'm
they said
sorry,
that there
I
was no
thought, I
second
didn't realize
first.
that.
It was,
Then never mind.
there was two. I
Just-
mean, we should be appointing another one, though.
yeah,
We should have
it was
two.
the other
Never
one.
mind, thank you.
Yeah. I knew there was something special about that because he's so special, he has to be special.
Yeah.
Oh, am I a suck up to the? Sorry. Help myself. Steve?
Oh, bills, yes, of course, I have those right here. Madam Chair,
Yes.
the following warrants are reviewed, and I move that the town, the select board approve the warrants and authorize payment. The first warrant, accounts payable 13-T in the amount of $24,551.54. Payroll warrant 51S in the amount of $14,264.61. And payroll warrant 52S in the amount of $11,530.85.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any more discussion on it? Motion's been made and seconded to approve and approve for payment. Signature and payment, is that what you said? Something
Well,
like that.
yeah, approve.
I wanna be exact what he said, because that's the motion. To pay warrants 13T, accounts payable $24,551.54. 51S payroll $14,264.61. 52S payroll $11,530.85. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. What does T mean?
I was wondering, do they,
Because it always used to be A or AR.
I noticed
Or
those
AP.
letter designations switch around even for the payroll ones. I don't know what I should ask.
Well, I know some
but
of them,
I haven't.
when they're in July, some of them are accounts receivables or what, I mean,
I will ask and I'll report back to the board next time.
I ain't really wondered about that, yes,
Well,
thank
My
you.
apologies for not doing it months ago.
Oh, yes, you should have. We're
Well,
gonna have to tar and
after all, I
feather
should
you,
know
send you
about all
down
the
Main
stuff I'm
Street.
signing, all these things.
All right, so let's get to our articles, wherever they may be.
Here's some of these.
I don't know where they are. There they are, I got it. I got it.
Actually, you know what, I got,
New ones?
we added one today, so.
Yeah, this is-
And well, the board approves it. whether we add it or not, we're just gonna.
Well, no, for your
It's on
review.
for our
I
review.
got a request
Right.
from a department head to add.
And where would that be?
It was the $15,000 for the EOC at number
18.
18.
Why do we want,
He came and requested it and I put it,
okay, so should we, all right, I guess.
is there an extra one?
Everybody okay with that? There's an extra one. Did you get one, Steve?
I did get one.
Okay, did you get more than
Oh,
one?
no, this is me.
I think I got just one. Is that what you mean? I should probably put this down.
I did.
I gave away mine.
Well, I got another.
No, that's the new one she
No,
gave me.
I threw my new one or my old one in the trash.
Oh, yeah, I should do the same.
Line through it and tossed it.
So how do you wanna do this, just ask questions now?
Yes, because, until we get them in the, until we get them settled, then we'll come back, once they're set in stone, then we'll come back and we'll assign each other.
Okay, I have a question on Article 7.
Article 7.
I understand the unexpired term, but there should also be, David, there's another position that's up for election this year, so shouldn't there be 2 articles?
I think there is, but
I think they
nobody's
say
been
it,
officially told that there is. So I,
why, who's leaving?
David Webb's was up,
We already put somebody in there for David Webb.
but to fill the unexpired term,
Oh,
and his term is up this year.
wow, so actually there would be 2. But I think the library does that at town meeting.
I thought the library
But we have
provided
the
us with
article,
theirs.
we have an article, there is an article, yeah, they usually do.
Yeah, to fund the, fill the unexpired term of 1 year through March, that would be Dave Webb's, right?
No, Dave Webb's,
no, that's the one that Kibbe,
Oh.
Kibbe?
It doesn't even matter who it is.
No,
Kibbe?
Ruth Kibbe, isn't that the name that she filled?
Well, Jean's here.
Oh, Jean.
Jean, can you help us, honey?
you're talking to me?
No,
Yeah, one
Jean.
of them should be to elect Ruth Kibbe, because she's only been appointed to fulfill the rest of the term.
Okay,
That's not, is that Dave Webb's or that's a different one?
who's on the board?
There was a lot of changing, so.
Who's filling whose is.
Right.
Who-
Want
who-
something I'm clear on.
Who's on the board now?
Janice Pereira,
Okay.
Kathy Korb,
Mhm.
Brana Flockaver, Ruth Kibbe,
Okay, so,
and they have one open position.
So Ruth Kibbe was the
So
second.
we would reappoint, you would ask the town to reappoint, Ms. Kibbe, right?
No, I think that's gonna be like fill the unexpired term unless
Okay.
that term she was appointed to is actually expiring in March.
Okay, but then Dave Webb's is
Dave
expiring.
Webb's was expiring in March, and Don Petrovsky's expired last year. So,
Dawn is one position to be replaced.
okay,
So Kibbe's is,
so the library needs to give us another one.
yeah, okay.
The library needs to give
So we need another article for you. Or this one reworded to add the second one. You could add to this, to elect a library trustee to fill the unexpired term of, what's his name?
David Webb.
Dave Webb, all right? And also what is
It would
the
be
other?
cleaner for the minutes if you did 2 separate articles.
Yeah,
Well, there is an
Appreciate it.
Article 6 that says additional library article.
That's.
yeah, that's for them to, because they're trying to, I don't know, they want to ask the people to bring their thing up, so. Are you going to present that tonight?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Do you have an article
I'm
come?
staff.
She's
I'm
not
not
on
the
the-
administrator.
Okay, well, I'm just wondering if you knew.
Okay.
Are they gonna add one, because tonight we're going through it and we're gonna either prove or not as it stands, and if we don't have an article tonight, then there may not be an extra one, and to change the Article 5, you would have to do it, amend the motion at town meeting. if you could pass that word.
But did they know that we were gonna do these, that this was
It's
the
on the
final reading
agenda, I
tonight?
thought.
It's on the agenda, and it's agenda's warned.
It is, I think it is. I better check that.
I mean, you know, it's everywhere, it's down there, it's up here, it's, you know, on the walls.
Yeah, it says articles for an annual report town meeting.
Yep.
And we do
all
have
right.
an earlier deadline.
So then maybe you should get a hold of one of the trustees. I would say Janice Pereira, she's the head honcho. I think she is still. And I would tell her that she needs a second one for that other guy. And then, because this one is to fill Dave Webb's.
Okay.
One other thing is when there's money, you know, sometimes you have a decimal point and sometimes you don't, but it should be consistent.
Yes. In other words, if you put 200,000.00, then, and then your next article comes up 70,000 and you stop, it should be .00. I kinda like the .00,
Okay.
all right? It's much clearer.
And my other question was why Article 20, since we have the authority to establish a committee and not this select board?
Yes, I told her that.
So are you taking it out or leaving it in, or what are you doing?
No, I said that we make the committees, nobody else.
You take this out. Okay.
Oh, this isn't a committee.
Yeah,
This isn't making up a committee.
this.
Oh,
Are you on the old
You mean
one?
21?
Yeah.
She's looking at
Yeah, you don't
21.
wanna look at
Okay.
the old one.
Okay, 21, that's,
Right.
yeah, to authorize the town to, shall the town authorize to establish of a solid waste committee? No,
I
no,
put it in there because I was following the same format that had been it in the past. That
to
was-
explore alternative methods of refuge, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, we do that. Take that out. Yeah, that's
So
something
you
we
don't-
would do.
We can do
we
that
can-
whenever we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
If
just
we
in here
wanna-
for something else, so I put it in.
Now she's throwing pencils. I'm the crabby one, not you. Whoops, Tim, you knocked something else down. Okay, can we go article by article instead of jumping around, please?
Oh, that's why I asked you that.
Reminds me of a tennis match, everyone's
Yeah.
getting the balls.
Who's up? Okay, so our first one is our operating budget, and that is number Article 4. Now, is that going to change because we had something that we were changing? That the rec, the
We
school.
just got the school,
Okay,
the school
that has to be
rental,
changed in
so-
our budget, so it's gonna change this.
right, it was changed, that's why I didn't put the number here. It was changed in the budget, we just.
What, you did put the numbers here.
Article 4.
Oh, I'm looking at Article 4. Yes, that's the last one.
Okay,
That's with the school rental in it.
all right,
I wasn't sure
very
if I
good.
did
So
that
this is
or- yeah,
corrected.
This is
That's
correct,
correct,
yeah,
yeah.
all right. So that's a good article then. Article 5, shall the voters appropriate the total library fund expenditure of 70,000.00 for administration of the blah, blah, blah. Okay, that is an article that we have done. So, and as I said, you know, anything can be amended at town meeting. Article 6, additional library article. They don't have one.
Not yet, they're collecting.
Yeah, but if we accept these,
But they have until when to bring petitioned articles?
They have until January 19th.
oh,
to
okay,
bring petitions
January
in.
19th. All right, very good.
And we have a meeting on, what, the 9th?
Yeah, 19th.
No.
Yep, okay, very good.
No, that's December, wait a minute.
We should
We have a
have
meeting on the
We need a new
16th.
one of those.
We have a meeting
Yeah.
on the
Oh, that is
16th.
17.
Well, we're gonna
That is
have to meet right
2017.
after because we have to
Yes.
accept these.
So we should probably meet on the 19th.
Yeah, we're meeting
Yeah.
on the 17th.
All right, then 19th is what, Thursday? So let's have a meeting on Thursday
Instead of or in addition to?
instead of. Yeah, because we have to get these approved right away. And so that they can go in the town report, so they can be to the town clerk.
Can I just say something real quick? Because
Yeah.
I don't ever remember from year to year what our budget is. So I was looking at
what was printed in the town report last year. I don't know what it ended up actually being, but what was proposed last year for the town, in the town report for the town budget was 2.1 million. It's 1.9, so we're proposing a savings of over $212,000. Just wanted to.
Wow.
That doesn't mean that this 2.1 that was printed in the town report was passed as is. I don't remember what that number was, but
I think it was, close, yes.
I just wanted to.
I think it went down a little bit because the sheriff's went down a little bit because he changed from 24/7 to 20.
Everything else was level funded
Yeah.
based on the budget.
Yeah,
Did you
so
change the next meeting to the 19th or the 20th?
19,
19, should be a Thursday.
yep. And we'll, at 6:30. Everybody consensus? Yes, 6:30?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, so we've been over Article 7. Article 8, shall the voters authorize to, an amendment, to the policy on the administration, for sure, for
show.
show. That should be a for,
Good thing my kids
F-O-R,
know
right at the
these.
end of the sentence, line. For the capital plan, deleting all references to the finance committee and replacing them with the capital plan committee. That sounds like a good article. And then Article 9 is the capital plan, and these figures are the ones from this, correct? So, oh, no.
Well, no, she said she did something else.
No, 82.5, she's
Is
right.
it right?
Yep. All right, so that's a good article. Article 10, shall the voters appropriate blah blah for the capital plan to be expended, shall the voters appropriate, here we go, spend on the items approved for the capital plan.
I remember getting into this wording last year too.
You know, the thing is that is an Article 9. What we have to say is, do they want to take the capital plan appropriation out of the capital plan, whatever it is, capital reserve fund? That's what it has to say, that's what it is. If shall the voters appropriate out of the, on the items approved for purchase in the capital plan, to come from something like that, to come from the, what did I say it was?
Capital Reserve Fund?
Capital Reserve Fund, right. The townspeople may not, because, you know, you don't wanna keep using that every year. You know what I mean? And pretty soon, we're gonna have it down to nothing. I think there's, you know, like 2 or 3 million in it now, but I mean, it won't if we keep using it every year. I don't know how much is in it, I don't quote me on it.
So last year, the wording was, shall the voters appropriate $177,000 from emergency capital reserve fund to fund the capital plan?
Yes,
That's different.
This was, Linda said that they had to approve the capital plan and then approve buying whatever the capital plan. So say we're buying a tractor this year and we've saved up enough money in the capital plan to buy
I
the tractor.
know, but there's
we
a,
have to approve the
there's a
money to pass
thing
it.
that says the deletion, that the townspeople can delete or add to.
Yeah, I wanna say that Article 9 is, shall the voters approve the capital plan, which is their opportunity to add,
That's
delete,
exactly
whatever.
right. That's
It's-
on
it's-
Article 9.
There's no approval there. That's appropriating. The Article 10 is the one where we need to appropriate and, you know, doing the whole raising through taxes.
No.
No?
Shall the voters
I was
appropriate,
confused with this one.
well, it's because they got so confused last year that it got all screwed up.
Yeah, but you
the
know
other
what,
one I
in the
thought?
past, they didn't have to, this is from 1995.
Yeah, no, they never had to do all this stuff.
Because you're appropriating it for funding of the items approved in the capital plan, and then you're raising to be added to the Vernon Capital Fund, and the money can only be used for items authorized in the capital plan.
Yeah, why can't we use that?
Probably can.
Yes, and because the townspeople are told at that appropriate time that they can add, delete, and,
Yeah, because when you're appropriating, then you're appropriating, it's really confusing.
yeah,
Sounds like
you
you're
should
raising
not
it
have a
twice.
second article. Except for to expend it out of the capital reserve fund. But if that one says that it,
That's
right
a
in there,
capital- That's a capital fund.
no, the emergency capital. You've got to have,
But this isn't in a emergency capital
We don't-
fund, is it?
Last year, we used the emergency to
Because we were
offset.
low,
huh?
because we were down. We had to offset. We shouldn't have to offset again this year, should we?
No, but we've used it a couple of years now.
Yeah, but if we don't have to, we shouldn't use it.
That's, I agree, I agree. So don't, unless Linda Starpinski wants to ask the people, don't put that article in there then, right?
So
Everybody
Article
okay
10
with
is
that?
out.
Yeah, 10 is
No, I
out.
thought that she had asked for the appropriation of money to the fund to fund all the future stuff, but also the approval to spend the money out of it for what was approved. If we don't need that, then I'll
Yeah.
take that at you.
Yeah, because
I
it's
think we use
too,
that verbiage.
Okay.
You won't need it.
Yeah, with that verbiage,
It's
you won't
too
need it.
confusing.
Now, if she wants to use the emergency capital fund, you have to have a separate article to say,
I don't think,
She didn't say anything about using that, so
then
no,
don't put it
she-
in there then. All right, Article 10 is out. And she's gonna rewrite Article 9 to read like the 1995 article,
All right.
okay? All right, are we all set with that? All right, moving on. Article 11, shall the voters appropriate 50,000 to be raised by taxes to fund the town road upgrading? We still want that in there?
Yeah.
I think we need it.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm just asking.
Yes.
Now, during town meeting, I would really like, because I know we've talked about this before when we were talking about the whole pond road thing. I would like David to be prepared
He's
to,
behind you.
Oh, hi, you're here.
would it,
He's
I
always
can't remember how our
prepared.
conversation went when we talked about the whole pond road thing, because I think people were like, wait, no, we voted for the money, but we didn't necessarily want that particular project done, so just to avoid that in the future at town meeting, you know, maybe you could just,
We had the grant from the state, so we had to pay that.
okay. But at least when this article comes up, at least would you be prepared to, what are the things that are, you know, what are the projects coming up on your forecasting, whatever, of what the next thing would be?
Yep.
And then that way people will have their opportunity to say whatever they wanna say and you can do whatever you want with it, but at least they have the opportunity to speak.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Article 11 is, okay. Now, 12, what kind of money do we want to put in the professional services? I believe that every year prior, we've put 20,000 in, am I correct?
No, I think we should put 20 in.
At least. Don't forget, there's two utility companies that has been bought, sold.
I asked about the Vermont Yankee thing, and apparently the language in the current tax agreement is actually
Yeah.
covered. And not only that, but the Entergy, they're actually buying the Entergy Vermont Yankee site and committing to the tax agreement. I've specifically asked that not only of our people, but also the head of North Star.
Okay.
And he said that they would honor that commitment.
Okay.
But, you know.
But he don't have,
things-
does he have to?
Things change. Yeah, it says it in the
Okay.
agreement. It says heirs and assigns.
Yep, it does, I remember.
That's what it says.
Yep.
That's what,
Okay, but
the tax people-
Canada's,
TransCanada's different, but.
so we may have to fight
Yeah.
that. You sure 20,000?
Last year was 50. Well, again, what was
Wow.
proposed.
Yeah, Vermont Yankee
Man,
is
it would be
closing.
really nice to have the minutes,
Yeah.
like for next year when we're doing this, or maybe for the 19th.
For the 19th, it would be
It'd be
nice,
nice to have the minutes.
of the town meeting.
Yeah, because I mean, all we can see right now is
2016
what was
town meeting.
proposed, we don't know, unless we have a stellar memory, what was actually voted on.
I have a stellar memory. Okay, so I was 30,000 off.
I'm trying to make
So do we
notes.
wanna go 50 or 20?
I think we need to, How does that fit in with our overall?
Let me see what the fund
It has nothing to
balance.
do with our budget. This is a decision that the
There's
townspeople make,
$155,000.
not us.
All right.
But we have to come up with figures here.
So we've
Oh.
used 50 this past
Okay.
year, is that what you're saying?
It's something that we put in. There is only 155,000 in there now.
Yeah.
It'd be good to know what we spent this year. Not every year.
Yeah, why don't we
The
get
budget-
quarterly reports?
We don't ask for it.
You know what? When I was treasurer, the select board didn't have to ask.
I know, at the LCT, we got a monthly, but
Well,
we should
but-
ask.
Well, if
Isn't
there's
that a separate fund?
155,000 in there now, do you really think we need to go to 200? I guess, I don't know. I know that professional
I'm
services
only
can gobble up
concerned that
a
you
lot
people
of.
would not have enough to fight if we had to fight.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, you know, I can go to my lawyer, pay her $1,000, you know,
I understand.
front thing, and I'm okay, because I could go for, you know, a long time on that $1,000 retainer, but.
I know that retaining of professional representation is expensive, I'm aware of that.
So,
Let's pencil it in at 35,
all right,
and then
that's a good
since we
compromise.
have till the 19th to figure out what we spent last year, then we'll
Yeah,
relook at that one, start.
all right, we
relook
could,
at it
yeah,
again.
yeah, we'll look at it on the 19th again, and you'll get that figure from Cindy for us? Thank you. All right, number 13, going on. Shall the voters appropriate 40,000, that's a Jane Cusick fund, do we still want to continue with this? Or remove it?
It's been contentious.
It has been.
And I don't remember the discussion, but I remember at town meeting myself kind of wavering on that.
It was voted to retain it though, because we did have an article a couple years ago to stop it, and it was voted to retain it.
Well,
Tim's got his hand up.
Tim, please.
Tim Arsenault, Town Clerk, and also the clerk for the Cusick Scholarship Committee. Conversation with the school board chair, Mike Hebert, recommended putting it in and leaving it to the will of the voters.
Okay. And it shall be done. That okay with everybody? No.
Not really, but I'm not the whole board, so. It's, I don't know, it's one of those things.
It is one of those things of getting that we just can't keep helping anymore. But I think we
I think by keeping everybody's taxes low, that helps pay for your kids' school.
I know.
I mean, that's just my.
No, I'll tell you, my granddaughter went through school, and it helped her for the 4 years, and, you know, she was able to buy books and stuff.
Sure.
I'm gonna tell you, they need it. But that's, you wanna just leave it, let the townspeople put it in or out?
So,
Okay.
It gets discussed, I think, heavily,
It
at
does.
least in the few years that I've been going to town meeting. It gets discussed every year. I
It
don't
does.
think it'll get, you know, blown over or anything. I think it'll, if we leave it in, it's gonna get discussed and, you know, townspeople will vote on it, so.
Okay. Moving on, Article 14. Shall the voters appropriate $25,470? Oh, and don't forget that 40,000 is a dot dot. And the 50,000 is a dot dot and 11. Number 15 is also dot dot. I'm gonna go through all of them, make sure. Anyway, for the Wyndham Solid Waste District assessment to be raised by taxes to fund the previously established solid waste fund. Okay with that?
That's what we were assessed.
Yep.
Yeah, that's,
Do those need to be, 14 and 15, do they need to be separated?
Shall the voters appropriate 40,000 for municipal refuse, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know if that needs to even be in there anymore.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
that's now what the recycling committee and what we've approved is for the
Oh,
the
that's
recycling,
right.
the curbside recycling. So I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if they need to be separated, or could they just be
I think we
combined?
should make them separate, because
Well,
one, we
Yeah,
don't really
it's
have a
clear,
choice
like
on.
Sandy had
Right,
said
that's
earlier.
true.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then 16, leave that separate.
Hold on.
Oh, we got two 16s.
Yeah, so, yeah, you're right, yeah.
And we got
The assessment, we
250s.
don't have a
We don't
choice
have a
on,
choice.
so. unless we leave the district, but.
Which,
All right, on the second page,
You
Article
got three
16.
16s.
Yeah, Article
know,
16
I'm sorry,
is,
people keep throwing them at me.
Chris, back to that, where we don't have a choice on the Wyndham Solid Waste District assessment, why isn't that not in our budget?
we took it out because, how many years ago?
Long time, probably like,
3 years ago. And took it out of the solid waste because the solid waste wasn't being used. So we
Right.
did that to take it out of our budget, to lower our budget.
Doesn't really do anything though.
no. It just seems like, put it in the budget, because we don't have a choice, we have to pay it.
Unless we leave.
Which we don't
You
want.
can't
Yes, you
leave.
can, but you don't want to, but you can.
Oh. Who told me that you couldn't go? You couldn't.
Oh, no, you can, with the one meeting that I went to, Winhall left.
Really?
What's the penalty?
There's no, oh, Bob's not here. I only went to one meeting, but it was, they had to write a check, cause they had to like pay for their services up until whatever time they left. But the major thing is that, and I don't remember all the bits and pieces, but if we leave the district, then that means that the town becomes responsible for like your hazardous material collections and other things like that, that the district provides for us. And there's quite a few of them. The hazmat one is the only one that I really remember, that's stuck in my head, but then the town becomes responsible for paying for those, hosting those, scheduling those, making sure that they're all done within state guidelines and regulations and everything. And I personally, I mean, with the MRF closing, I say just leave it and let them do it, yeah.
All right, so, want to take it off of this and add it to our budget?
I would say so,
Well, there goes our,
honest.
But, well, it's,
no, actually, you're hiding it in the budget. I think this way is more honest, Sandy, to be honest with you.
I disagree, but that's okay.
it's just like, was there something else, like the rescue?
Right.
You know, I mean, like I guess we don't have to participate in rescue, or maybe we do, I don't know the answer to that one, but, you know, for the things that we kinda have to be a part of, I mean, sure, we take it out of the budget and it makes our budget look good, but it doesn't change the amount of taxes that are being raised.
Whether you leave it as an article or whether you
Right.
leave it in the budget, is still $25,000.
Yeah, and if you leave it as an article, there's a chance that, people at town meeting would vote it out. I think they have to.
But then we're still liable
Well, they
for it.
can,
Yeah, then we're still liable for it. All right, shove it in our budget, yes?
Yeah,
Or no? Yes?
There's pros and cons to both sides, and I'm not sure I know where I'm on that one.
I know, I just as soon leave it here as an article so they know that that's, you
Well,
know,
it
how
does
much.
bring it up to the, but as far as having flexibility, you got this process, you got this method, or
Yeah, and I don't
I
care
don't know
either
what
way.
the other one
I
is.
just, if we're gonna leave it here, now that I've got a little bit more information, I'd like to be prepared. If people are wanting to debate this and say, well, what are we getting from the district? It would be good for us to be prepared and
You
know
actually mean you would
what-
talk this year?
What are you talking about? I talked a little last
She
year,
did, yeah.
Did you?
a little.
Behind the curtain?
All right, let's keep going.
He's ready for March too.
All right, so what are we gonna, yes, me too. So what are we gonna do? Leave it here?
I'm fine
Put
with
it in the budget? Leave it?
Yeah.
Leave it?
I
Okay,
remember
all right. Sorry, Sandy. All right, now Article 16.
that. First article,
15.
16.
The first 15, the
Okay,
40,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
40,000.
Do we have information from, was it Triple T?
Yes, this combines information from Triple T, also information from Wyndham Solid Waste about how the tonnage that they got rid of from the bins.
Okay.
So this would cover it, though.
And this was the estimate that I came up with.
So
To
this is-
cover, and this includes the town, the school, compost, recycling.
Yeah,
the
we
town
can't break
garbage,
them
town
out.
office building,
There's no way we're gonna
Um,
break them out.
town garage, fire department,
Right.
rec, all of that is in.
So this is this figure keeping the bins and staying at bi-weekly recycling?
No, it's getting rid of the bins.
Getting rid of the bins
Yeah.
and staying bi-weekly.
And
with
staying
Sigma.
bi-weekly,
Okay.
and that's what you had decided on last time, and to see what
Right.
happened.
Right.
So if you wanted to pad that with a little more in case people wanna go
I'd
back to-
prefer going every week.
every week.
I would, because, you know, I mean, holy crap.
I would too, and I've had a request to,
sorry.
I've had one person reach out to me and say they'd like to go back to weekly.
Yeah.
Can we get a budget for the 19th, or get a figure from
Yeah, it'd be
Triple
like
T?
another $5,000, because the tonnage remains the same. It's just an extra
the
cost for
delivery.
delivery.
Right.
So
I
I
mean,
think
a
it,
pickup or
and that's
whatever.
easy, I think it was like another 5,000.
So if we put 45,000 in here, that would cover it?
That should cover it, I can double check
Would
on,
the tonnage double? Cause you're
No,
doing
because
the
it's a
whole
s-
town at once and not half the town?
because at the end of the year, you have the same tonnage, you're just picking it up more often.
Okay.
So you're just paying for the pickup, really?
Yeah, you're just
the
paying
pickup.
for the pickup. The amount they're picking up is the same, because I counted the tonnage in the bins. So that includes this, so if we're lucky and we had a lot of people from out of town
Right.
that were dumping in the bins, the tonnage could go down.
David nods his head, yes.
Yes, a lot from out
So-
of town.
Yeah.
So you must be excited that we're getting rid of them.
Can we get rid of the mice out of the garage now?
Yeah, maybe you could.
We'll get you a cat.
Yeah, we'll give you a cat.
Maybe you can build them a little house where the Murph used to be. Maybe they'll move in there.
There you go. A
So
little
I
mouse
will double
house.
check on them.
Make sure it
every
looks like
week.
a church, because they like the church. Yeah. All right, moving
Because
on.
I think people will. I think with the bins going away, I think people are going to want to have pickup
Every week, yeah. I've had a couple of these, so.
Yeah, and if
Yep.
it's $5,000, I mean, we can always amend it from the floor.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you
Right.
can't really, I mean, because this is a dollar amount that you're going for, I mean, we could present it as, you know, if we put it in, say, at 40,000, we tell them, it's almost like giving them options, you know? Here's 40,000 with no bins and every other week. But if you want to go to every other week, or to every week, it would be this amount. So if somebody wants to make that motion, then they could do it from the floor.
The bigger picture for this whole article is that it gets it out of the pay-as-you-throw budget so we can actually see what's going on with it.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
All right, so let's change that to 45. All right, and move on. 16,
confirm
shall
that
the
number.
town authorize the establishment of a pay-per-throw fund to manage the fiscal activities associated with pay-as-you-throw? That's, you know, what it is. All right, so the next page, Article 16 is out. It's a repeat. All right, so now,
It's worded differently.
It's really
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, because right now,
Oh.
the pay-as-you-throw is going
One-
through solid waste fund.
One's creating a fund and the other one is moving it out of the Wyndham Solid Fund, which
oh,
is,
so actually, that's number 17 and it should stay.
Can we,
Jeez, I'm
And you
gross.
got to be careful too. Remember that we removed Article 10, which makes the
Yeah,
numbers
so
all.
numbers-
Yeah, all the, yeah, whatever, she'll get it. All right, so we'll keep Articles 16 and 16. All right, moving on. The next article is, shall the voters appropriate the sum of $20,000 to be raised by taxes to fund the previously established elderly assistance fund? We're all set with that, right? Okay, moving on. Article 19, next article. Shall the voters appropriate the sum of blank to be raised by taxes to fund the reappraisal? Did you get a
Yeah,
figure from?
I talked to Carol and she said she didn't think she was gonna need any.
I thought we had enough to cover this.
Yeah, I thought we
but-
did too.
thought you did too.
Yeah, okay, so that
Do we
can come
need
out.
to start building the fund, because I think that if I'm remembering right, that the reappraisal fund will basically be depleted,
Pretty much, yep.
done with this reappraisal. So do we need to put, similar to what we do with our capital plan, $20,000 a year to make sure that the money's there when reappraisal comes around again?
How often do we do it? I haven't been
I don't
home
know,
long
every,
enough.
what, 6, 7 years?
6 to 10 years.
Yep, 6 to 10 years.
And how much does it cost?
See how I value your brain?
I wanna say it was around
Let's
100,000.
say, yeah.
So,
No, it's 163 or 173 in there now, right?
No, that's what the fund is, I think the cost is around
And they
hundred
get so
thousand
much
for the
from the state toward it.
reappraisal. It's like a hundred
They
and
get so much from the
120.
so
state.
if you do 20,000 a year, in 4 years, you'll have 80,000 more to
I
offset.
know, but if they're only gonna use 100,000, I think they said 100 and something
She's
thousand.
looking at it now.
I'm hoping to.
But remember, they get
I
money
hate
back
that
from the
there.
state for every property transfer tax return. The money comes back into that fund.
Right.
Oh, really?
They get so much per lot.
Well, no,
Now,
that
go
was
to our,
appropriation.
oh, we don't have ours in there.
Well, here's the non-major fund.
Yeah, I don't like the accounting one in there. Audit. I say get an old one from before that. Where's the one that, where's the codicil?
Reappraisal. 188, almost 189.
That's the reappraisal cost, 189?
No, that's the.
That's the fund
Oh, I'm
amount.
sorry. Okay.
So that sounds about right, so if we're gonna.
And that's as of 15. Duh, why don't we look,
In the budget.
no,
On the-
not a report from this year.
Good thought, we have them right here.
Reappraisal, 218, fund balance as of June 30th is 218,
Oh,
and I don't remember how much she
Pretty
said.
sure it's 120, somewhere
So
thereabouts.
maybe why she says we don't need to raise any more.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
if we've got-
That
if
leaves
it's
us
gonna-
80,000 and.
yeah.
No, it's more like 100. If we've
Yeah.
got 218, round it up to 220, and if it's gonna cost 120,
Yeah,
we're leaving
that's
ourselves.
100.
I mean, I'd rather, if anything, I'm all about evening stuff out. I'd say let's add 10,000 and kind of go with 10,000 a year
Yep.
rather than 20,000
I'm fine with that.
4 years before you need to do it, you know?
Okay, so you want to
That's just my
set
preference.
this at 10,000?
Sure. Okay.
Dot 00.
Thank
Good job,
you.
Steve.
I love him. Well, not that way, in case anybody was wondering. All right.
Anyways.
Yep. Shall the voters appropriate the sum of blank blank to be raised by taxes to support the following in the designated amounts?
Are those the
Those
charitable?
are-
Yeah, that would be the list
Oh,
of.
hey, you know what, I come up with an idea. Now, it could be a good one or it could be a bad one, but it's up to you guys. How about instead of, because there are some funds that, I mean, some of these people, that they don't do anything in this town. So why can't, and I don't mind to support them if that's what the townspeople want, but why can't we, as a select board, we get their petitions back, we put their name in a hat, literally, and pick one.
You can't do that if they petition.
But the thing is that we have a right to either put in or put out, or don't put in at all.
Right. But then
So,
it's
a
like,
petition, so,
But we voted on, last year, we voted on right? There
paper
was,
ballot.
yeah, there was like
Yeah.
5 people and people got to pick the
the
ones that they
town
wanted.
clerks, yeah,
Mhm.
put it, the town clerk puts it in,
I think
yes.
we should,
Fair.
I
Leave
think,
it?
yeah, because I think I don't think all of them got the votes. Do you remember, Tim?
Madam Chairman, I believe there was one that did not get it this
Yeah.
last year. But again, that is up to the voters in a secret
Yeah,
ballot if that's
right, yeah.
what you choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, paper
But
ballot.
I think that's the
All
way
right,
to go.
very good, thank
Can
you.
we
So,
nix this article altogether?
yeah,
Even though they put petitions in?
What, and not have anything going
Correct.
out for other organizations?
Exactly.
No, that some of those are really helpful to our town.
I know, but there's one in there that we pay out a lot of money to and they haven't done a thing for this town, but yet say they do. But that's okay, that's up to townspeople. So you would put an amount, a total amount in there and then list them. The town clerk will list them at town meeting, we'll have a ballot, so on and so forth, and just do it.
So, do you guys wanna hear what we had last year?
Yes.
The current, $600, Green Mountain RSVP, 510, Senior Solutions, 810, Visiting Nurses and Hospice of Vermont, New Hampshire, 6,500, Brattleboro Area Hospice, 300, Sevitz, the Southeast Vermont Economic Development Strategy is 6,600. SEVCA,
That's the
Southern,
one.
or Southeastern Vermont Community Action Inc., 2,100.
I think Sevitz is the one that didn't get.
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't think they did either. But they're the ones that, you know, that's a
But
lot
the
of
others
money,
are-
you know.
You know, visiting nurse and hospice,
No, we need them. We do, I
Yeah.
do agree with that.
I-
Hospice and all of them,
And,
yeah.
and don't get me wrong, I mean, I give the charities personally, but I think that's, I just
Did you add
don't
my name
like
to
somebody,
your list?
I just
Telling
don't
me.
like somebody telling me that my tax dollars have to go to these charities. That's my choice, where I want my money to go. It shouldn't have to be forced upon me to support these organizations if I don't wanna support these organizations. And, you know, there's some of them that I do, there's some of them that I don't, just like you.
Yeah, me too.
There's the ones that I would give money to and there's ones that I wouldn't. But by lumping them in all together in an article and essentially forcing those that don't want to participate by majority vote, it doesn't make any sense to me.
see, Southern Vermont, the hospice used to be part of the select board budget,
Yep,
Yep.
it did.
but to lower the budget, they put it as an article.
Sure.
That's why
Well,
it's been listed.
yeah, I was treasurer when they moved it out, and it was because there were several others that came in and requested, so. Brought out too, and you're right with the lowering of the budget too.
Because you're looking at what, if all those were passed, which we know they weren't, you're looking at $15,000-$20,000 there.
You are,
That's pretty significant.
you are.
So,
That's just me.
Well,
no, I agree, there are some that I wanna, and some I don't, I absolutely agree.
And that's why
I
I
have a hard
think we
time
can't do
with a couple of
the,
them.
that's why I think we can't do the pick and choose thing and just let people donate to the charities that they wanna donate on their own.
Okay, so in other words, move it out,
pull this right
pull the
out,
whole thing right
pull
out?
the whole thing out and have, and just, you can make a statement in, even in the select board summary that we pulled it out and people can make contributions to the charities they want to.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that, I think that's certainly a more appropriate way to probably handle this, but, you know, I don't know how else to.
It doesn't end up actually being, you know, the full amount, because like as Sandy said, people don't necessarily vote for all of them. You know, they may vote for, like, I know hospice normally goes through, which is a good one. The visiting nurses, which is a good one, we need them. But other things that, you know, really don't help the town, I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing, because
I don't wanna
that's
give to
what
them.
that's what I'm getting at is
Yeah.
the ones that you don't think help the town aren't necessarily the ones that Steve thinks helps
Right.
the town. Steve may disagree, and then Sandy may have a different list, and then Emily has a different list.
Yeah, you're right.
But by putting an article at town meeting and saying, we're gonna give away X amount of tax dollars to all these organizations or charities, whatever you wanna call them, you're essentially forcing everyone to participate, whether they wanna participate or not.
So, what's the consensus of the board? Take the article completely out. Let me hear ayes.
Aye.
I wanna see if we can do that.
I was gonna say, can you make that contingent upon statute? I'm not sure that we can.
You think the
Tim's
statute
I think you can.
Tim's
enforces?
chomping at the bit too.
That's
Come
why,
on, Tim.
that's why I said, I don't know if we can do it based
Right.
on them submitting petitions.
No, yes.
Madam Chair,
Go
the
ahead.
process is that each organization submits 5% of the voters by petition. I am not sure on what legal ground the board would be standing. Of course, I'm not an attorney, nor do I play one on TV, so I would suggest that you speak with your town
Oh,
attorney.
you're not the Tim Arsenal
So,
I saw on TV?
I see what you're saying, though, you're saying that this is a petition, which would be like any other article with a petition.
But I believe
Correct.
the board has the final say, whether it's, whether they've gone and got the 5% of the voter's signature or not. I think we have the final say,
I'm.
but I'm not sure on that.
Well,
I
because
had
the same
asked,
process, the same.
Michelle to get the VLCTs.
I forwarded it on to you today.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get the email?
What did it say? hold on.
It said you can't do it.
Oh, it did? Okay.
You can't,
Trying to be nice here.
you can't
Oh, no,
pull
that's
this
fine,
out.
that's fine, that's good, I wanna know the truth.
You can't pull this out.
Okay.
If
No,
they've got
because-
5%.
If you have the 5%,
All
that's
right.
their right
That
to
makes,
be.
that makes
Then
sense.
then we can't pull it out,
Then
then.
we can't pull it
Yeah,
out.
then that makes that
Then,
easy.
yeah, makes it easy.
Thank
Nothing we can
you.
do about it.
Yeah.
Very good,
Well, I
thank you,
withdraw
Michelle.
my aye.
Let me
I
see.
like
I
it
don't
when
want
you
to do
tell
something.
her.
I don't like it at
We
all.
like it.
She said, I don't like telling her that I'm right. And I said, I like when you tell her.
I do, everybody likes that. No, that's fine, I'm glad, because I wanna know. And like I said, I could be wrong, cause she told me I'm never wrong, right?
You're not ever wrong.
All right, let's see. Anyway, all right, so now we know we can't, so we'll put it in, you'll list them in their amount, and then a total in the,
I mean, you could do them each in separate articles to
We
give
did that one
people
year.
a chance to.
too many,
No, so we-
too
I-
many,
I
too
mean, I don't know
long.
how you do it.
We did it, Australian.
You'll see it in the-
Or
No, paper ballot.
paper ballots
No, but
last
how you
year.
vote on this one,
Kim brings it up and
so
he
they
hit.
can vote for whichever
Yes.
ones they want.
That's right.
That's how we
Okay.
did that,
That's how we did it last year.
Because one year they wanted it put individually, the next year we did it individually, and they voted to put them all into one. We had like 50 articles that year. That was not good.
Okay, moving on.
Moving.
$15,000 for emergency management,
Did.
gotta be .00.
Do we, right, did we, this amount, or is there some
Yes, they just got a
supporting
state.
documentation with this, or what?
What do you mean?
Well, in other words, the justification, if this is a new amount, isn't it, from what we
No,
had
we,
before? What is it?
no, we did this last year too.
We did, okay,
Yep.
good. So
Because
it's,
VY,
it is what
correct
it
me
is.
if I'm wrong, VY used to pay the town or pay for it.
$30,000.
Right, and so last year was the first year that the town is now paying for the EOC
Right,
because
okay.
VY's.
So this is just a continuing article
Right,
from last
yeah.
year.
Last year.
The way I was understanding it, it was something like, or I'm all set.
I mean, you don't have to do this. You can vote it out, but
Well, no, I
I
know.
think we need emergency
Well,
management. We
and
need to
I'll
fund
tell
it
you,
to the fullest.
the thing we have to realize here in town is we are a nexus of traffic through the town that
Absolutely.
can present some very significant hazards, right, exactly.
That railroad right
And so
there.
we need to keep that in mind and recognize that we may be called upon at any time to deal with a derailment that could involve evacuation of the whole town.
Yes.
And we need to think about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is for like the building itself, the utilities, and all that, right?
No, the utilities we have in our budget.
Yeah.
Oh, what's?
This would be I would say,
David's stipend
it would
for
be
the-
David, it
the-
would be like supplies, I'm sure it would be, you know,
Well, it's electricity and stuff now too, because we have to
no,
pay
we
for
put
all
that in our budget.
Oh, did we?
I want
Yeah.
to, okay. I wanna-
That's what-
I think we put 5,000 in.
Was that what we did?
I don't know.
3,500 we put in for the utilities and, but they're still paying for a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah.
So that could change.
Yeah, that can change.
Three and trainers.
being without
Yeah,
paying
and-
very much.
and besides that, you know, I used to pay the people that helped me, you know, give them a stipend. And that's probably what he wants to do too. I don't know, I can't answer for him, he didn't give us a thing exactly what he wants,
But this is the
I would
same
assume
amount
that's-
as we have in last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Ready to move on? No?
I will come back to it if I need to.
Okay. Next article, shall the voters appropriate the sum of $2,500 to be raised by taxes to fund the town parking lots maintenance fund? Can we have all the, like, highway together, all the library together? You know, and then, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And that way, if it was snowing or something and David's and his crew has to go, they have to go, and that way it's all done at one time.
Sure. I was just trying to follow the format from the year.
Yeah, I know.
I'll put it however you'd like.
Well, I think David's the only one that has a couple anyway,
It's
so.
a
Well-
rough draft.
You'd want the recycling issue up with the other recycling
Yes.
issue then.
Yes, I would. Don't you guys? Don't you think that's clearer and all the, you know? All right, so $2,500, okay? Move on?
I guess, is that 2,500 based on something?
Well, it isn't, because he doesn't need any more, and there's nothing, it's down anyway. And I think it's just to keeping it, adding
Keep
it
it-
See what
2,500
happens
every year.
From the winter, if we got a
Right.
crack seal or anything.
Right, and he doesn't have to redo parking lots right away, correct?
Correct.
How long do they last? Because I know we just did, well, all of them,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
They've all been done.
How long do they last?
Well, the recreation's been the longest right now. God, now she's making me think. That one's probably 16 years. It's been.
Really? And it's in great shape?
We did that in the basketball court at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
For some reason, I had 40 years stuck in my head, but I know my driveway did not last that long, but.
But we've already sealed that once, completely sealed.
So we're too far out to like start building the, even if it's small amounts like this.
Small amounts, we'll just keep going and.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Everybody
I'm
okay?
good with
Yes.
25.
Okay. Next one, contingent upon other grant money being secured by the Vermont Land Trust, shall the voters of the town of Vernon authorize the select board to spend $54,000, from the Vernon Farmland Protection Fund to pay a portion of the cost that will permanently conserve 73 acres, more or less, on Pond Road owned by Jeffrey and Kelly Dunkley. That sounds good.
I was not involved or interested when Annette did hers, but I remember there being a whole thing and it got voted down.
Yes.
Did there have to be like a forum or something before that happened,
Yeah,
or?
the farmland committee will hold one.
Yeah.
Which we
Oh,
just
that's right, I
rees-
think Art said that.
Yeah, we don't do that, yeah.
We just
And he
reestablished the
did say that
farmland
they would
committees.
hold one.
Yeah, no,
And-
I guess what I'm hoping to avoid is, like I said, I wasn't around involved for the Royden property, but I remember seeing it in the paper and there was, I'm sure, a lot of stuff that happened. I just am hoping to avoid all that stuff from happening at town meeting. And would
Yeah, no,
like any
yeah.
discussions, whatever I would hope would happen
Yeah,
prior to
it'll
that.
happen.
Okay.
I have another question. too.
Sure.
What sort of funding are we expecting from somewhere else? How much?
Yeah, I didn't get a hold of Art today. Jeff, do you know what the total is on that one?
Vernon is being requested to fund 20% cost share.
Okay, so it's 80%, well, let me think here. It's, yeah, I can do the math at some point. All right, thank you. So this 54,000 is 20%, is what you're saying. Is that right?
270? 270 total?
Okay, ready, move on? All right. The solid waste is out. Is that one out? Shall the-
Because we don't need an article to create a
Right.
committee.
Right, okay, that's right.
We don't need 22
All right.
either.
We don't need 23, or 22, yep.
Because that'll be dealt with the Wyndham Solid Waste Fund.
Yeah, and besides that, the townspeople normally don't make that decision, we do. That's not something to ask the townspeople, but we should know our constituency, because they're gonna call us and they're gonna ask us.
Right, that's.
And they're gonna
yeah.
say, and I've heard, they wanna go back weekly, so, I mean,
And when we say, you know, in Article the first Article 15, appropriate the 45,000.
and we're gonna say that we're gonna go back weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so next one. Shall the voters exempt Pond Road Chapel from school district and municipal taxes for the years of 2018 and through 2022?
That was the middleman last night, so
That's
And that's the property that's owned by the
historians.
historians.
Yeah, over on the, right across from the rec. What about the Vernon Union Church? I mean, not the church. All churches are exempt, but what about Vernon Home? Is that fall underneath the church law too?
It's a nonprofit.
Okay. Because I didn't know if we had to exempt them as well. Okay. Because didn't we used to?
No, but it comes up very frequently.
I thought we used to do that.
Stebbins
They're
Road.
federally exempt.
Yeah, they're a nonprofit.
Maybe that's why we stopped doing it.
Yeah, they're a nonprofit,
Yep.
I can speak from experience. They're a nonprofit, so, the property that is Vernon Hall, Vernon Green, and Vernon Birches, that is all exempted because they're a nonprofit. The Stebbins Road property, that portion is taxed, because it had, rental units. So like the house was there that, Tom Johnson lived in.
Oh, yeah.
That had rental income, and then the Swedes, barn, it's not the right word, but, so that portion of what's owned by Vernon Advent Christian Home was taxed. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future because both of the rental structures are not there anymore, so. I don't know what's gonna happen with that.
Okay,
If-
all right.
Can I just ask a question about, maybe you already answered it, the timing here, 2018 through 2022, that's a 5-year period. Was that what we normally do, is 5 years at a time?
State.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a state thing?
Right.
Thank you.
And why it says 2018 is because,
18, 19, 20, 22.
yeah,
Yeah, it's 5 years.
yeah, I know, but, yes, because we're doing a year ahead.
Right. no, I
Instead of saying
understand- I know, I understand that
2017.
part. I
That's what I was
just
trying to get to.
Trying
Can't
to,
exempt them from the year that we're in.
Right.
Because they're already exempt.
Already, right. All right, so, shall the voters authorize payment of real and property taxes to the treasurer in 4 installments with due dates, blah, blah. Did she give you any dates, Cindy?
She said one would have to be December, I mean, she could make the dates whatever you want, but one would have to be in December, September, December.
Why couldn't it be
September's the
like
first one she could
September,
do.
November, skip December, then,
I guess it could, if you wanted to do it that close together.
Say the proposed months again.
September, December, March, and June.
did you, were you able to contact her about the question I had?
She said, that, you know, she wouldn't have to issue bills again, but it
True.
obviously would add, you know,
Has she got
another
enough
busy.
resources with the changes that we've made to do that?
She said that she could do it, but it would be
All
more
right.
for her office.
Well, because you're doing, it may, I mean, it's the same amount of money, but it ends up being another cycle they have to go through, which is, you know, another thing that she has to prepare and support, and things have changed or will change.
The other piece that scares me, and I know that there's timing as far as, you know, once we set the tax rates, she has, you know, a certain number of days to get it out, and you can't
Yes.
receive a payment within a certain number of days or whatever.
no, she can
My
receive it.
Hmm?
She can receive a payment anytime.
Okay, so my concern is cash flow. Because right now, looking from, not from the resident side, looking at the town side,
Right,
right now, well, last year, you had half of your revenue in September and the other half of it in,
we borrow within ourselves.
oh, we do?
Yes, we always have. I suppose that Cindy would continue that, I don't know, but that
Okay,
was
so
the
we
proper
don't-
way we've always
We
done
don't
it.
go outside,
No.
so we don't pay interest.
We used to,
We
Okay,
pay interest to ourselves.
we used to,
Well,
but see,
yeah.
if we
Well,
went out,
okay.
there was an article in there to see if the town would allow the treasurer to borrow,
from like the emergency capital reserve.
no, borrow
Oh.
from the bank in anticipation of taxes. But we don't do that anymore. Then we changed and we went to borrowing from within ourselves. She might go to the cap, whatever's,
Right,
you know.
whatever is the
Yep.
largest balance in that, like, okay, that's my concern, I mean, cause you're looking at bringing in a quarter of our income in the last month of our budget year.
Yep.
That just seems kinda crazy to me, but if we're not borrowing from outside, then
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Cindy did say that, she didn't hear that anybody wanted 4 weeks, 4 payments, so it's not something that's come across her
No, but I
desk.
think, Chris, you mentioned it, I mean, just because we know taxes are gonna go up,
Yeah.
or we assume that taxes are gonna go up because
Is-
of, the VY agreement.
Is
dropping
that
significantly.
happening in other towns? In other words, is that,
they do it quarterly, they do it,
Quarterly.
yeah, they do it, but I mean, you know, that's up to, I had a few people ask me, I know it would help me, but, you
Yeah.
know, I'm only one person in town, you know.
I was thinking more of whether, I mean, my major concern was whether we could support that upstairs here, but if we can, then I don't have a problem with it.
Cindy's pretty frugal, I think. Go ahead,
I'm not doing very good at raising my hand. I think that we should have
get to yell in my ear.
both either a 3-payment schedule or a 4-payment schedule. We should decide whether we propose a 3 or a 4, but have the other ones ready, and I mean, we can throw it out there at town meeting, would you like to go to 4? And, you know, it increases the amount of, you know,
Well, then we
it
have
adds
to have an
another day.
article to ask them that.
Well, why couldn't,
Why can't,
no.
we can
why
put it right
can't
into
they-
this, right?
No, why can't they say so you put it in at 4, and Barbara
Vote it
stands
down.
up and says, I move to amend it to 3 installments.
All right, so that would be a good thing. We ask for the 4, and we'll do these dates that she says, although December's gonna be hit hard for everybody, isn't it?
I think I would say we stick with 3. We did 3
And
this
then we're
year,
putting 4.
and if they want to go to 4, because it's going to increase the treasure, it's, you know, that extra day or whatever.
That sounds good to me.
If they want to, if the residents want to incur that extra day of extra time, whatever, then that's their choice, but I think stick with 3.
Okay,
Because
that
we've
sounds
only
good.
done it 1 year, and we haven't had an opportunity to hear from people what they thought about it, if they liked it or didn't like it, or they'd like more, so.
All right, so then what we put in here, the same dates we had last year. 3 of them.
But she should have the dates, the 4 date,
And she should, yes, she should be ready for.
the quarterly schedule dates ready,
Just in case.
yeah.
And that's it. And then the next one would be a good one, because that has to go into the town report, and that, well, the town clerk will have it done by the 5 o'clock or whatever, right?
Yeah, I told Tim that I would help him out if he got a lot.
Okay.
I can sit there and help him check. We'll have it,
And,
we'll get it done.
and Tim would like to keep it, yeah, that's another thing with the articles. Remember last year, we moved it from Monday and Tuesday to Monday and Wednesday, and,
Yeah, why?
because Tim is the town clerk and the
Oh, right,
moderator,
yes.
so, and he's gonna have to be here during vote counting and stuff. So, instead of having to everybody hurry to run down there and, you know, but he will announce, you will announce, the people, so if you, and, yeah, that way it gives us a chance if we're gonna help him, you know, come on up.
Madam Chairman, I'm happy to do both jobs. The state says they're not a conflict, but even I can't be in 2 places at once. So
Oh,
I leave
come
it to the board's will.
Party pooper. All right,
It's good.
yeah, go ahead.
Tim, are you considering using the machine, the tabulator for town meeting?
I have given preliminary looks at that, and I've gotten a cost estimate of approximately $800 to $900 for the town meeting vote. And as soon as I get a firm number, if the board would like, I will bring it back and give you the opportunity to say yea or nay.
Okay, because if you went yay, then you could always be down there by 7:30.
You still have the issue of the write-ins.
Oh, right. I think
Yes.
it-
How long has it been since you did that?
Well, I keep hoping they're gonna pass the law that the bill that we keep saying, if you don't register you wanna be a write-in, if you don't get a minimum of so many, you don't have to count them, but Senator
But
Doyle
how do you
doesn't like
know,
that.
how would you know what the
Because
minimum?
if you go through and Steve's gotten 15-minute votes, you know, pretty close, he's gonna have a lot of them.
Yeah, okay. All right, so,
Senator Doyle doesn't like that.
Okay.
go ahead.
David, last year we created the culvert reserve fund and put money in there. Do we need to put more money in?
I'm using the leftover money
Okay.
from the budget.
Okay. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
And one more thing. So this year is the first year that we are doing the postcard mailed to all registered voters for the town report. We have no idea how it's going to go, but would we like to put an article in there to have us revert back to the paper as it was last year? so that if people hate the process that we do for the first time this year, we have the opportunity to go back immediately the next year. Does that make sense?
I think it makes perfect sense.
If people love it, then they just vote down the article and
Yeah.
we stick with the,
So the article would read,
To go back to mailing to everybody.
yeah, mailing of the town report to every resident in Vernon.
Because when I figured it out, I think it's gonna probably save the town about $500.
If we
doing
don't,
it this way.
I'm all in
and
favor.
Pushing everything.
I'm all in favor of going with the postcard, but if it's a disaster,
No,
that's, I guess,
I'm saying it's only gonna save
Oh,
$500
okay.
and we still have to do a townwide mailing, we still have to have them all printed, it's just adding a lot
Yeah.
more steps in the town. And getting everything done early.
Deadlines, yeah. So I think if we include the article to revert back to what it was last year,
Yeah.
to eliminate the postcard thing,
good idea.
then that way we're not forced into doing the postcard again next year so that we can get the article in and whatever.
You
Yep.
sure you're not running again?
I'm positive I'm not running again.
Okay,
Give me
so,
5 years.
so the article can stay as Wednesday, am I correct? Everybody's okay with that, right? All right, let's move on. Highway Department, hours of operation. You wanna come up, David? I had a few people ask, and I wanna bring it to the board, and, I didn't wanna do it without you being here. Somebody had mentioned that perhaps save on overtime, that, huh?
Sorry.
I just kicked Steve this up, sorry.
He's not.
That maybe through the winter time, the board would, change your hours to 5 days a week instead of 4 days a week, 8 hours a day.
Chris, we've gone through this. We've shown that there's a savings on 4 days. We've cut our overtime in half.
I'm only one
I'm
person.
just telling
I'm
you.
bringing it up to the town, so don't attack me, I'm sick of being attacked. Go ahead, Steve, do you have anything
Oh,
to
no,
say about that?
I didn't, I was gonna ask if someone had looked at, because we used to
Yeah, he
be
has,
5 days.
because it's been up before.
5 days, and then we went to 4, and you do see a big lump in the anaconda here when winter comes, that's for sure. Looked like a cow was swallowed the last couple weeks, but anyway, hopefully we don't have a whole lot more snow. What?
Nothing, go.
No, I mean, I was just looking at, don't forget, I'm the one that goes through the timesheets with a magnifying glass, but at any rate, that isn't out through the whole winter, because,
Yeah.
especially now with global warming coming up, although of course it's not coming up, but we should actually see less and less snowstorms that we have to deal with too.
Well, last year was down quite a bit because it wasn't,
It was a light year. I
Yeah.
had 2 driveway plows last year.
Yeah, but there are winters that are
More, yeah, no, I
like
know
this
that.
winter, I
And
think
the
we're
other
gonna
thing
get hit
too
good.
is, I mean, one of these past weeks here was a Sunday event, so we ended up having to have overtime anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But one was a
what
Friday
day.
too, I mean,
And one was a Friday, and
We haven't worked
one
Friday
case, they had to come in really
I
early.
guess it was
because
Thursday, wasn't it? Did it
Got
start
really
on
bad
Thursday?
quickly, yeah.
And we were done by 11:30 Thursday night.
I don't know, I'm not your liaison, so I don't know.
Weren't you guys out on Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday?
All right, and the other thing,
This past
I mean,
Sunday.
is that something
Sunday?
that we're interested in doing, or we feel that, David can handle that, or?
I have a question.
Sure.
When you know that a snowstorm is coming, like actually last week would have been a perfect example because it was a Thursday storm. And you would have kind of been working it. Do you adjust like earlier in the week to reduce? I mean, I know you have prep to do, putting stuff down on the roads before the snow comes. But is there any adjustment, or could there be any adjustment in the hours before a snowstorm is expected? Especially if it's a storm earlier in the week, or if it's like a Monday storm.
Or a Friday storm.
Or a Monday or a Tuesday storm, do you take off a little early on Thursday
You
afternoon?
got your set hours. If you started doing that, you'd be in violation of the overtime rule. It'd be obvious.
What overtime rule?
Yeah.
The federal
Time
one?
and a half.
No one. 40 in a week worked, right?
Because we have set hours.
Well, currently, there's a set work schedule of
That's right.
10-hour days, but I don't know how that works. I mean, in a union shop like we had at the plant, it was a different situation, but here where we don't have a union in place, I don't know what the law
Did you have your
says.
hand up?
I did.
You have to come up to the microphone.
I'm waiting till they.
All right. Would you look that up?
Yes.
To be sure, I
I
mean, I
believe
want-
I already have, but I'm just going to double check that I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, if there is a storm on, and I've said this, you know, for years now, and I bet y'all can't wait till March, neither can I. But if there's a storm on Friday, why can't you take Thursday off and make it that kind of an adjustment, is what what I've always said. And to cut down on the overtime, give the town people
That's what a lot of
break.
towns actually do.
Yeah.
Well, I think that makes sense if the storm was on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Because how many times have we been told there's a blizzard coming and we get a little bit.
Maybe 1 out of
Right.
10.
I don't know.
Well, no, I agree with Sandy, you know, for a weekend storm, you know, I mean, it's not for a storm that's predicted on a Friday or a Saturday, I mean, to take even, 4 hours off on Wednesday and then have it be nothing. I mean, I don't want our employees to like not get their 40 hours or, be
Oh, I
forced
know,
to
and I
use
don't
the
want
comp
them
time
to
sort of
deny them
thing.
overtime.
But
or
an adjustment
anything,
for a
because they do
storm on a
such
Monday, Tuesday, or a
fantastic job as it
Wednesday.
is, but- Yes.
But for a storm that happens on like a Monday, Tuesday, or, in the middle of the work week, if it's legal to adjust hours after the fact, kind of like what we asked the sheriff to do, adjust hours to cut down on whatever, I'd like to see that.
And I think part of the, historically, in town is that if they're called in anytime outside of the hours of 8 to, what are your hours?
No, it's 10.
6 to 4, then
Oh.
they're getting overtime automatically.
6 to 4.
Right, and then.
So that's the
yeah.
way it's, for some reason, and I can't find any documentation about when that started, so I don't know why.
Well,
it's
they've
done.
always done that, I mean, that's something that's always
Yeah.
been, and I know, and the thing is that, when we did the, audit, the payroll audit, and had, whatever his name is, come down,
Harry Snyder.
Yes, thank you, I knew that. He had said that exempt employees, it went into all that, but, go ahead.
I was just curious, you guys have checked with other towns on other things. Who are the other towns that take time off during the middle of the week?
We didn't say
I'd
that
have,
anybody
I
did.
can come
She
back
said
at
other
you.
towns do
I
it.
can come back at you and tell you. I just have emails from managers
Okay,
and from VLCT,
okay.
that's all I got.
Well, I think,
Yeah, just
if
don't
I'm
go
not
there.
mistaken, aren't there some towns even that employ, I don't know, I guess they're like contractors for certain kinds of plowing activities too?
Well,
David does.
David gets somebody in that when he needs
That's what I'm
an extra
saying,
person.
so
We did it last week.
there's that approach
did
as
you?
well.
But is it a contractor or is it an employee?
No, it's
Is that like a
employee.
seasonal part-time employee? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, it's a town employee?
Yeah, that's why we have that in his.
Part-timer.
Well, I was speaking of contractors. There are people out there that do snow plowing for a job and that.
I have to be honest, I wouldn't want anybody but David and his crew.
I don't know what the hours are, like to go back 5 days a week, what the board is thinking,
Would
whether
be
it's
8
7 to
hours a
3
day,
or
actually, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
But like, so if it's 7 o'clock in the morning when you'd want us to come in, like this morning, we come in at 4 o'clock, so there's 3 hours overtime right there. And if you went home at 3, a lot of times if it's still storming or whatever, you're out treating the roads for the people that come home
Yeah,
at
no,
supper
no,
time.
no, I
You
get.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And nobody's God, I mean, nobody here in this room knows when it's gonna snow, how long it's gonna snow,
Right.
what the temperature of the road's gonna be. It can snow, when you're out running the roads, taking care of them, you burn, besides just the overtime you guys are thinking about, or the manpower, you burn up fuel, you're wearing the tires, you're using scraper blades, you know, cutting edges, everything's expensive.
It
In the
was just a
spring, in the
question.
springtime, when it comes, you got more product that got put out, there's more product to sweep up. It's that much longer. But if you was out plowing, say, I know one time I went in Christmas Day. Now, I'd like to be home with my family, or my grandchildren on Christmas Day. I don't think you would wanna,
Right.
you know, I go by you guys' houses all hours of the night, lights are out, I'm out plowing. I just soon work my 40 hours and go home. You can put anybody, you wanna get in and plow, you can. I don't care, I just soon work my 40 hours and go home, but I'm not speaking for these guys. I'm speaking for myself, you know? I'd much rather be right home.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, it was just a question, wasn't to, you know, get all, anyway. All right,
We've
there
been
was
doing
one
this
oth-
for 10 years, though.
I know that.
Just some of the new board members, just so you know.
Can I make a suggestion
Yeah.
or throw an idea out there? Because I'm sure it probably does come up every year by residents. What about, I don't know how you would feel about this, but writing up, I hate to say a justification, but an explanation
Yeah.
to support why you have the hours that you do and submit it to, for the website.
I
mean,
think that would
if-
be excellent.
If, or I mean, even the newsletter, to explain to people, because I don't plow. I don't clean up snow, I don't know how to do your job by any means, so I don't know what it entails, you know what I mean? I wouldn't sit down to think about, oh, well, you know, you gotta go out and pre-treat the roads before the storm, cause I don't do that at my house, I just snow blow the driveway when it's done, and then I'm done, you know what I mean? So like, I don't think about all the extra things that you guys, is common knowledge to you, so maybe to type something up and explain what it is, you know, not what you do, but you know what I mean, more than just what the average homeowner
And
deals
the other
with,
thing they
what's
gotta
different.
remember is,
And
that
that way
equipment
the-
would be outside another day, so when you pull that equipment in at night, it's cold. So that's another day that furnace is running,
Yeah.
once it's in,
Yeah.
to warm everything back up.
Right.
So as long as there's no storm on the weekends, everything's shut down.
Right,
Well, this is good, because I'm glad I brought it, because, maybe it'll stop people from contacting me constantly about it.
Well,
Well,
I
yes, I
think,
mean, if you had an explanation of it that was, because not everybody, I'm curious to know what percentage of people actually watch the videos, you know what I mean? But, and obviously the
No, they
attendance.
do,
Do they?
Yes.
And the attendance isn't, you know, in person
trust
isn't
me.
great, you know, but, so I mean, it's just another avenue for you to be able to explain why your department runs the way that it does and get the information out there, and then maybe, yeah, maybe we don't have to revisit it as often.
And believe me, we wanna get home as fast as we can, cause
Oh,
we got
I
our
know.
own
I
dooryards.
know, yeah.
Yeah, I think even an explanation or some sort of summary of what you did accomplish in the prior year, even in the town report, would help people to understand. I mean, that's what the select board does, is we put together something, you know, that summarizes things. It would help people
Oh, yeah, that would be good too.
to understand, and it would all be in one place then. What's that?
Carol has one. I turned one into Carol.
Oh, you did?
Oh, good, all
Well,
right.
that's wonderful. I think communication with, you know, for us here, I mean, I've never been a great snowplower, but I never broke anything though either, so, I was
Well,
careful.
don't ever bring it
You're
up
hired.
again, or you're gonna be asked.
But the thing is
Do it.
I think letting the townspeople in general know
Can't even
through
talk.
some kind of communication is a good thing to do. This is why it costs so much, this is why we do what we do, and this is what our schedule is, you know, I don't think that hurts. And it actually coming from you
Right.
to the townspeople
Yes.
is better than for the select board members to try to interpret what's going on and, you know, and do that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What is it?
Okay.
It's like when she said she has a driveway, she don't understand why they go around your driveway. You're not driving in and out of it, packing stuff down. On the roads, there's a lot of traffic.
Right,
And you gotta try to keep it clean, 'cause if you don't, you just treated it first time before it gets ready to snow, and then if you just wait until it got all through snowing, then the storm's over, you went and plowed it.
Right.
It's all packed down, it's all nothing but a sheet of ice then. and then you ain't gonna get it up.
But people
Your
who-
driveway, you don't have all that traffic.
Right, but people who have never plowed before don't know that, they don't think about that,
Or they
you
should
know?
get right in the truck and go for a ride with us.
Well, I don't
Welcome
think,
anyone.
I don't think you really want that to happen.
Oh,
but-
yeah. I'd
No,
love
I
to have
really don't think, I don't think the town's liability insurance would deal with it. But I think communicating that in something like the town report would be very helpful for folks who, you know, just moved here last year from a sunnier climate. Why they do that, I don't know, but at any rate.
Let me just throw my 2 cents in. If 4 days works for, you know, reducing overtime, I'm okay with it. And everything for that, well, not everything, but I'm hearing from at least one of your employees that if we find that you can send him home 4 hours early on a Tuesday because you know you got a snowstorm coming on Wednesday, that he'd be all for it. And we can save the overtime and he's happier and you got a happy employee and you got happy townspeople and you got happy select board members. So let's look at,
If that's the case, I want a schedule, you know what I mean?
You want set
I wasn't
hours.
saying that.
I wanna work 40 hours and go home. If you wanna come in, get in the truck and go,
Yeah, he's
well,
being-
that doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I
being
get phone
sassy.
calls and emails at midnight saying that something's screwed up with the press and I gotta deal with it because it's part of my job.
Right.
I don't get overtime, I don't get anything additional, but it's
No,
part of
just-
what I do.
You just bring it
So-
fresh, that's all.
That's what I'm getting at.
But,
so
okay.
we're on
Um,
call.
And I had a couple of other things too, but, I guess it's not that important. I took care of it and I'll talk with you another time about it.
Okay.
I
Okay?
will say one thing, can I just say add one thing for the select board? I only get phone calls in the town hall if, the snow's not done fast enough. And this year I've only gotten one, and it was very early in the morning. And you guys had already been out there for hours and were trying to keep
On
up.
what road?
I think it was Tyler Hill Road.
Oh, okay.
And you'd been
There's a
trying,
lot
and
of
you'd
times-
already been down once. It had already been plowed once, and this was only at like 8 o'clock in the morning. That's how fast the snow was coming down.
Because a lot of times I come at the garage, but for Port Richmond Road.
But the point is that not only had you been at it once, but you were at it again by like 10 o'clock that morning, had been around again. So I think that people notice more when it's not done than
Oh, always.
when it is. So, and since
Absolutely.
with the storms we've had, only one call, you guys are obviously doing something right.
Yeah. No, and that, I mean, for anybody who works in Brattleboro or has to go through Northfield or in any of the neighboring towns, I mean, I hear all the time that the Vernon roads are always the best roads, so.
Yeah, and I think frankly too, we need to recognize that the main artery through town
It's not our responsibility.
is in pretty good shape for most of the time. I know the minute you get to Brattleboro on 142.
Well, 142 is not, that's the state
That's-
does
No,
that.
I'm
We
aware
don't
of
do
that, but what I'm saying is that there's really two components going on here. We've got the performance by our highway department and also the state highway people, and I think they're both doing a really good job here in Vernon.
There is times, this morning I did Bushnell's Corner to get to to get to Pond Road from the
Oh,
garage.
yes.
Oh,
You'd be surprised how many cars get that guardrail in the morning.
Well, yeah.
it makes me
It
nervous.
makes me nervous
I was-
coming down and
even
then
work-
going this
I
way.
even worked Thursday and I had to, want the, it's banked the wrong way and I was like, should I go do it,
I'll call
Newton
you in
Road?
the
I was like,
morning.
I'm not going uphill and not doing those corners.
You gonna be around?
Yep.
Yeah, because I think there's something you should know. too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, David.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
Me, Chris Howe.
Oh,
Well, the school rental fee.
It went up. We've already discussed it.
Well, but we didn't talk about it. We
All
just
right.
talked about it. We can move on.
Okay, go.
No, we just talked about it. It's going up.
Okay. Yes.
It's more of an FYI.
Yeah.
All right, me. I would like to ask the board for permission to use one room or the other, either room, doesn't matter, down here at the lower level. On Friday, I will pick up after myself, but I will be using several tables, which I can put up myself. I do not need anybody to help me. But I need to do a quilt that I cannot get on the floor and do. And it's a quilt that I had started for my granddaughter before, a few years ago. And so it's very special, I gotta get it done before too long. So if I could have permission to use the lower level, I would appreciate it. Please don't just do it because I'm Chris Howe. Just do it if you want to and no if
What,
you
so we have a
don't.
choice in the matter?
You do.
I make a motion to
But it-
allow Chris Howe to use the lower level of the
And
town
I
office building.
second it.
Good, I'll give you the $20
Yeah,
later.
$5,000. Just kidding, don't include that.
All right. Motion's been made. Should I not do that, Sandy?
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Yes, I'm abstaining. Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, next up is audit report. We'll do that and then we'll go on to the others.
We have to call him, actually, unless you wanna postpone this, because of the ice today, he didn't come.
Yeah, I
so-
don't blame him. What do you wanna do? Do you wanna call him or do you wanna postpone it?
Well, can we
And we
post,
can-
aren't we getting
yes, we
close
can.
to the?
Well, we've got the articles coming up, the next one is,
Does he feel?
Well, this way we could read it.
I just assume that get it over and done with, but on the other hand, if his presence makes it clearer to understand.
It
I-
does.
He does do a very good job explaining.
That's
it.
what I
Yeah.
thought, yeah,
And,
especially with numbers
yeah,
and stuff.
let's put him on, not the next one perhaps. Yeah, next
The
one.
next one's the 19th.
Yeah.
you probably wanna hear it before it goes in the. Oh, and I did include, cause you elected not to put the whole report in the annual report.
All right, well then why
So-
can't we just have a special meeting for like a half an hour for him?
We could do that.
And we could do it like say, who gets out of work at 5? Could anybody do it at 5? Could we do it at 5? Get him back to Montpelier? Or wherever he's
Depends on
from?
the day.
It's a holiday?
It depends on the day.
Oh, so what day can you?
I'm flexible,
Me too.
Tomorrow,
being that I'm retired.
Tomorrow?
Friday.
I was thinking next week.
I could do Monday. I could do Monday.
Should we look at the weather forecast or is that even gonna be significant?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. It's a
Friday and
firm-
Tuesday are out. So I could do Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Wednesday, there's a planning meeting.
Yeah.
Turncoat bastard. Oops. Nothing. Never
What
mind.
about Thursday?
Okay, Thursday next week?
Thursday, I'll be coming back from Montpelier,
Oh,
if you still want me to go.
It says there's snow possible on Thursday.
uh-oh,
Awesome.
guess you won't be
The
going.
taxes are due.
Well, I mean, it just
I
says
can go.
that, you know, who knows?
I'll try.
As we've heard before this evening, the weather forecast, I mean, how can you depend on it, right?
You can't.
I don't know what to say, but if.
Let's just put it on the 19th. Why are we not
All right.
just gonna put it on the 19th?
All right,
at the
then
meeting?
let's do it. I just
Why
don't
are
want.
we gonna create a separate meeting, have a meeting?
It has to go
She has
into
to
the
go
town
and-
report though,
Yeah,
right?
but
Yeah.
that's okay, so they'll
But
do
so
our
the
articles-
articles, and we're
we do
doing
the
that
same
on the
day as
19th
the
as
All right,
Well,
well.
let's
that's
just
true,
do it.
you're right, you're right.
All right, let's just do it. All right, and then the next is the tax committee. How about if we bring back everybody that was on the committee previous, which is the listers, Carol, Bill, and Jeremiah, is that his name?
It was also Patty, Janet,
Patty,
Jeff, and
Janet.
myself.
Jeff, and you, and me as an alternate for you. I don't care to be, but I will as an alternate for.
Well, I'm only staying till March. You can reappoint me to the tax committee, but when my term is up in March, I'm done with the tax committee too.
Well, as I said, we'll put me as an alternate, and then I'll just take over from there. I don't mind doing stuff like that occasionally, so.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
I move that we reinstate the tax committee as in the past, which would be the listers, Patty O'Donnell, Janet Rasmussen, Jeff Dunkley, Emily Vergovi, and Chris Howe as an alternate.
Jeff, was there
Yeah.
anybody else? I don't think there was.
Don't recall.
Yeah, I don't think there was. Okay,
Don't have my report.
okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Could you send an email to all those people and let them know that, the tax committee is up and running again?
I'm trying to copy the names off of,
Okay, I'll write them down so you can read them, because you don't have to read my writing.
because I
What's the
couldn't
purpose
remember.
for,
Just because we have those two sales, and, you know, I think it'd be a good idea to see what's going on and report back to the select board to see if, we need to do something about Trans-Canada or whatever. I guess North Star is okay, but it would be good to actually know that. And I didn't even ask if you wanted to stay on it.
sure.
You were appointed.
Yeah, you can't say no
You
now,
have to say no
John.
now.
Can't say no now. All right, also, I've talked to Mary Lynn, and the cemetery should be closed.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I move we close the town cemeteries as of this date.
Second.
okay. Any questions on this? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, now, we're going to have to go into executive session because this is a lawsuit, a pending lawsuit. Now, do you want to do the administrator's report first before we go in, or?
Yeah, if that's easier, I mean, it's pretty quick one today.
Okay,
Wanted to ask if you would like me to reach out and advertise for that WRC position that's open? Maybe,
Advertise how? I don't want you to spend any money on it.
no
Okay.
money spending, just,
Yep.
yeah.
emails, newsletters, that kind of thing. And then, the Black Gum Swamp I'm getting a lot of back and forth from board members about our testimony on, the 12th. Am I still a go for that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And the last one is, the junkyard ordinance. There is the option of withdrawing, the select board can withdraw if you're getting a lot of feedback. I did find that out, if you wanted to reverse that vote, or you could just let it go right to town meeting and play out like the judicial system has sort of made it go.
Well, we don't have anything on
That's
town
just
meeting.
But
FYI.
for the petition.
At town
thing.
meeting, if the petition gets turned in, that will be on town meeting.
Oh, I don't wanna do it on town meeting.
Neither do I.
I mean, I'm happy to
It-
do it, just not at town meeting. Does it have to be a town meeting?
Yep,
Or special.
It's supposed to be,
or special. yeah.
or we
Has
gotta
to be
pay
at
for a
town
special
meeting.
meeting.
Oh.
Because
When
it
is
falls
the
with it,
cutoff
it's
date?
actually more convenient, because it falls within the date and everybody's coming
Oh,
anyway.
I know, but.
What's the cutoff date for?
18th?
That's the 18th for those. And then the other petitions are the 19th.
Can we make that decision on the 19th?
Yes, you can.
Because if there's a petition, then there's no need for us.
There is petitions out there.
Well, no, I know, but if they get the signatures, I mean, I guess we could still withdraw it,
You can,
even
anytime
if they get
before
the
it becomes in
petitions.
effect.
But, I don't know, I think,
Yeah, I'm upset that people think that, you know, we targeted specific people, which is so wrong. We did not. Also, we did not intentionally or even think about pinning neighbor against neighbor.
Well,
But
I think those were just, you'll find in today's political environment a lot of exaggeration that we didn't see years ago, Chris. There's a new world out there, we need
Yeah.
to face that. But I think that certainly having the townspeople, if they get enough signatures for a petition, and if they want to go ahead and vote on it, I think that's a wonderful demonstration of, you know, democracy in action. And
Yep.
I think that's a great way to, but I do feel that the ordinance itself had virtue from the standpoint of health and safety reasons, and I stated that to the
Yes, you did.
assemblage last meeting.
Yep.
And I will continue to at least take that position myself, because
no, I do too, but.
it is not just a visual thing, it is also for the welfare of the community.
Yeah,
And, you know, so that's my view.
okay. All right,
And in your packets, I have just given you the year-end tally of the sheriff's department.
Okay.
Just so that you're aware that that's in there, he just emailed that to me this morning. Okay, and then you have the first one.
yeah, I'm not gonna mention it. Okay. All right, so, and our upcoming meeting schedule is, the regular is, now, January 19th. at 6:30. And then the next regular meeting would be Monday, February 6th, at 6:30, both being in the town office building down here, in this office. Okay, so go ahead, Sandy, with the,
Madam Chair.
yes.
I move to find that premature general public knowledge of the pending litigation at law would clearly place the town or individual companies at a substantial disadvantage by disclosing this negotiation strategy.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I move that we enter executive session with our town administrator to discuss the pending litigation at law under provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of the Vermont statutes annotated.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Second.
opposed?
She has to do the two motions.